true child of Skyrim. Ульfrika must be proud to have you marching under his banner. Surprised you're even interested in us orcs. To answer your question, I am Urzok, cousin to Chief Berg, veteran of the Imperial Legion, lover of many whores, drinker of beer. That's me. We're going to test this whole notion of friendship between the orcs and stormcloaks, and you're going to be the subject. Our stronghold has problems, and maybe you can help. Do right by us, or else we'll sway other orcs to back Ульfrika. Screw up, and you're dead to us. So, no pressure. Might as well get started. A few thieves at the stronghold last night took off with food. One was struck by an arrow. Track them down. Give them orc justice. We'll be right behind you.
Эти земли какие-то извращенные. Странно, что мой отец не захотел жить здесь.
Looks like one of them caught an arrow. Gonna have it easy with this blood trail. Dropped the basket, picked up most of the food. Still bleeding while they did it too. Probably starved forsworn, knowing my luck. Fought off wolves. Stuck that sword right through the alpha. Pretty desperate. Still bleeding buckets. Surprised they're still standing.
Эй, ты! Гляди, что мы тут с другом нашли. Если хочешь, могу и тебе продать. У старого Двемерского моста, далеко на западе. Если заплатишь, покажу тебе это место на карте. Вот спасибо. Развалины находятся тут. Угу.
And yet another bloodstained. Oh. Well, here we are then. At least it's not forsworn. Why don't you do the talking?
We were driven from the village. Stormcloaks called us forsworn, just because we were rebels. Beat us, cursed us, ran us out like dogs. People I thought were friends turned on us in an instant. They took everything, so we headed for Citadel. No food, no money. The kids were hungry and sick. We needed food, and I'd heard the orcs always had meat. We snuck in, took a little, almost got away. The hero lodged in my wife's chest, couldn't get it out. Fought off the wolves and made it here. He's dead. Never had a chance. Please, show mercy. I know of the orc customs, and I have nothing to offer as compensation for my crime. My children can't survive without me.
The blood price must be paid, so I will leave you to it. Don't expect me to share your enthusiasm, though. This whole thing sickens me.
Please don't do it. I beg of you. I'm sorry. It was just a handful of bread and some fruit. Look at my children.
Put your mule in, thief. Fine example you've set for these children. Stealing, bumbling about, and then crying. Stand up and die with some dignity.
Эй, поосторожней!
Это, наверное, та самая чудесная скайримская погода, про которую все только и твердят.
Indeed. Justice is unfeeling and grim. Must be served, regardless of the circumstances. Inordinate mercy gives rise to criminality.
medicines long ago. Bad for my ulcer. Come in. Make yourselves at home. Have some mead. I can't get through the day without a drink, you know. You want me to scramble some eggs for you? I don't get many visitors. Impudent whelp. Told you not to trust that crone. That was a good fight, though. Better than I expected. You have done well, but another test remains. I want you to travel to a spot just outside the stronghold. I'll point it out on your map. Let's go. No test, really. I just want to show you something. Make sure you understand the orcs before we agree to this pact of yours. This is where I had my first hunt. I was less than a stripling, yet I filled a stag with an arrow through the spine. My father was proud. Hunting is as natural as breathing for orcs. We relish the kill, but we also respect our prey. What counts is the means, not the end. As we struggle, fight for sustenance, so we fight for a place in Tamriel. Nothing is given. Everything is earned. This is why we value strength. I once loved the Empire, but I cannot respect their weakness. Whatever Ульfric's faults, he is strong for his people. Let us move on. There's a place west of the stronghold I wish to show you.
Здесь так светло. Не понимаю, как ты это...
My first battle. Just a skirmish, really. Reachmen were stealing goats. Refused to pay the blood price. So we met them on the bridge. I had fought men before, but it was different. I wasn't prepared for the noise, or the smell. The air was dripping with blood, piss, and excrement. Reachman begged for mercy, but I buried the hammer in his chest. I've killed many men, but I'll never forget his eyes. They were wet with tears. I was no more than 16 then. But seeing that man beg taught me a lesson. Never depend on mercy or generosity. Count on strength. I want to ask you something, Stormcloak. Do you have any regrets? Nothing else but to be with Marion. My father forbade it, said I'd be an outcast. He didn't know I'd already given her a ring. We met in Falkreath, and I told her that I couldn't, and I wouldn't marry her She looked as if the life had simply drained out of her when I said it. On her way back to Solitude, she was robbed and killed by a bandit named Idlewolf. I swore revenge. Spent 2 years hunting for him. I butchered every bandit I came across, but I never found Idlewolf. I heard he drowned at sea, so I joined the Legion. I found some peace and brotherhood and duty, poured a lot of rage into battle, killed scores of elves. But the regret always lingered. Last week, I heard that a pirate named Idlewolf had taken over Broken Oar Grotto. I'm going to kill him, and I want you to help me. You do yourself and the Stormcloak's honor by helping me. Please lead the way.
Скалы, лощины, расщелины и тайники. В таких местах селятся отшельники и фанатики. А ты еще откуда?
Impossible. Let me see. I don't believe it. It's got the etching. Her initials. Right where I put them. This is Miriam's ring. I don't know what to say. I never expected this. I knew Idlewolf would pay, but this is more than I had hoped for. Thank you. Come with me to Falkreath. We're almost done. But I need to finish something I started a long time ago. This is the one. Been a long time, but I remember it. Marion, if you're listening,
just want to say a quick word. Tell you what's on my mind. I was carrying some meat to a buyer here when I first saw you. Took me hours to work up the courage just to say a word, you know that? You were all I wanted. But I chose my family instead. You died because I wasn't there to protect you. I'm so sorry, Marion. Here's your ring, my love. Sorry it took so long to find it. Another time, another place. Maybe it would have turned out differently. I hope you find peace. I love you, Marion. Please forgive me. I'm fine. Thank you for helping me see this through. We're almost done, in fact. Meet me at the crossroads, and I'll give you the details. I want you to fight me. To the death. I am old, and I have no more desire to waste away on this world. I want an end befitting Malakath's faithful. I will never be chief. Age gnaws away at my strength. I am still haunted by my mistakes. I want to die standing up, facing a worthy opponent. This is your final test. Spare me any protests or appeals to life. You know what I am. This is what I must do. Take a moment to prepare yourself, then we'll begin. Fight well, my friend.
А ты еще откуда?
Oh, you got it.
Меня всегда учили избегать таких развалин. Кажется, теперь я понимаю, почему.
Hello. Apparently, that is what Urzak wanted, because his kin have already sent word confirming the alliance. Excellent work. We don't have to understand their culture. We just have to work together to keep out the Thalmor. That's something everyone can agree on. I found some interesting information regarding Halagland. So after you've caught your breath, come talk to me, and I'll fill you in. Yes? Draga. They are quite possibly the greatest annoyance in all of Skyrim, if you're an adventurer. Doubly so, if you're exploring Björni's Barrow. Apparently, a number of curious souls have disappeared in that old crypt. So many, in fact, that they have asked us to investigate. Their there is probably some nefarious, restless spirit dwelling in the depths of the barrow, and you're going to have to kill it. It's tedious, and you will likely have to kill Draugr again, but the people have looked to us for a solution, so we will deliver one. Good luck.
Откуда? Будешь знать. Будешь знать. Хорошо, что я доверяю своему слуху. Будешь знать.
What am I going to do with you? You're letting me down here. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that. You're irreplaceable. Yes, I mean that. No, I wouldn't want a puppy. Just you. You're perfect. Oh, a conversationalist. This is a refreshing change. Will you curse me before or after you lock my head off? Did that hussy Meridia send you? Irrelevant, ultimately. I am the army, adventurer, and storyteller. Now, a restless spirit, forced to dwell in this crumbling cesspit. And this is Princess, my pride and joy. I'd mingle with the Draugr, but they're terribly uncouth. No social graces whatsoever. I'd offer you wine and cheese, but I'm afraid we're down to skeever turds and rancid water. Oh, and there's the treasure. Who am I kidding? You came here for the loot, nothing more. Do your lethal work then, hero. I haven't the will to resist anymore. Disappearances. Oh, I guess the Draugr hacked down a few, stuck their noses in here. The princess might have snacked on a few wanderers too. No, see, we generally are on the receiving end of such violence. Oh yes, they never stop coming. Always on the hunt for loot and glory. One locked my head off and stood around expecting for some other spirit to show up. And they awarded him a legendary blade or something. ridiculous. I only wish I could rest in peace. I'd even settle for pieces. See, I'm cursed. My harlot of an ex-wife made sure I'd be stuck here forever. Long ago, she lured me in here. Had her blood-sucking boy toy bury an axe in my chest. As if that wasn't enough, she cursed me. So I had some fun with a few tavern witches. She was hardly a saint, constantly swapping fluids with that faked pervert of hers, hypocritical bitch. You know, the fact that you didn't already start hacking away is promising. Would you, by chance, be interested in helping me lift the curse? This is wonderful. I can't wait for rest. Real rest. Oh, to know that whore would be a little pile of ash. It warms my heart. But first things first. Before we set out undoing the curse, I must attend to one matter. Over the years, I have been traumatized by a nemesis. A paladin from Iraq, Roland Chevalier, has harried me for years, using his half-hearted heroics as inspiration for a string of odious epics. Before I am laid to rest, I want to watch that sanctimonious bastard squirm and then bleed out. You can't imagine the pain he's caused me. The first step is populating the tomb with voracious skeevers. Those vermin are very effective at annoying even the hardiest warriors. We need pulo cheese, a rare treat that will drive those pests into a frenzy. Luckily, I have heard of an eccentric bandit who has a taste for it. Lucius Cassius, that is the name. Don't ask me how I got it. Magic, that's all you need to know. Magic will guide you to him. Good luck.
Кто там?
Тут кто-нибудь есть? Какой сюрприз! Больше ничего не умеешь? Плагин! Это все, что умеешь? Почти. Напрягись!
There it is. I will serve it up to those fickle beasts at once. Man flesh will be a fine compliment to pulo cheese. Sadly, my darling princess has been gripped by melancholy in a general lethargy. She will be useless against Chevalier in her current state. Fortunately, there is a remedy for depression. Beer. Not just any beer, but the cherished brew of a mad giant, Rag. Bring me Rag's brew, and Princess will be back to her old, murderous, venom-spewing self. I can't wait.
понимаю, как ты это переносишь. А ты еще откуда?
Плагин!
This is it. Princess thanks you, as do I. She would tell you herself, but she'd likely impale you with her fangs while gesticulating. It happens. Now, for the most important step. Killing my undead bitch of an ex-wife. I know full well where she's hiding. Pine Moon Cave. That licentious shrew is probably drinking blood from cold cups, having orgies with other whores, their breasts rubbing together, eyes meeting. Just be quick about it. I need some time to, meditate. Oh, and do be careful.
Вот ты где.
So it's done? I mean, yes, I felt it. The magic. I'm not fooling anyone. I'll have to trust you on this one. Roland will be here soon. I have one last step before we make our final preparations. It concerns the Draugr, who can be unmotivated at times. Would you believe the Draugr are partial to sagas? Turns out it spurs them into a bloodlust. I've been reading to them for years. Always works. Someone dropped the saga of Roderick Redbeard here some time ago. It's body cheap and poorly written, but mildly entertaining nonetheless. I will understand if you wish to tune out my reading. Then again, perhaps you share the tastes of the Draugr, simple souls that they are. Please speak with me afterwards, and we'll set our final preparations in motion. Roland won't know what hit him. Chapter 5. Roderick was spent from exertion in the battle against the cultists, yet he rode hard as they pursued him. The black-clad fiends galloped closer to Roderick, who had been stripped of his sword and mail after his 12th capture. The ruddy warrior spied a dilapidated hut in the distance. It was clearly guarded by strange magic, so he entered. The cultists did not follow. Inside, Roderick was met by a hideous witch. She was offended by his trespass and demanded he pay for the crime by laying with her. Roderick agreed and mounted the crone, much to her delight. She was satisfied and awarded him with enchanted armaments and ample cheese. Roderick then rode to the cultists' camp, surprising the wretches in the midst of a drunken orgy. He dashed their skulls with his hammer and laughed. Roderick celebrated his victory by singing and punting the heads of his foes. He sang until an arrow struck his testicles. It was fired by the witch. The witch seized Roderick and stripped him of all possessions, even the cheese. He lay bleeding as she rode away. Roderick then swore bloody revenge. Then it begins. Roland will not be by himself, of course. He always has an entourage of strange hangers-on that assist him. There is Thorndal, the sly Bosmer archer, who fires arrows with pinpoint accuracy whilst lurking in the shadows, a dangerous foe. Then there is Viviana, the fearsome. Well, come to think of it, I'm fairly certain she's just a prostitute who follows Roland everywhere. Is this more of the norm nowadays? Bringing empty-headed sexual playthings on perilous adventures? Gods, that seems irresponsible to me. Well, they're helping Roland, so they must die. Make yourself ready. He approaches.
А ты еще откуда?
Просто таракин. Мне с тобой не справиться.
Что, не получается?
Убью тебя!
other scum take heart in our hard-fought victory here today, I have but one favor left to ask. Please fell me in single combat. Don't protest, for this is a happy moment for me. When you strike me down, I will finally ascend to Sovngarde with my kin. This is what I've been waiting for. I must resist, so don't go easy on me. Thank you for this. I will keep an eye on you from Shore's Hall. And if you're in need, I will do my best to intercede on your behalf. Now, on guard.
А ты еще откуда?
Yes? I earned it. I was born a bastard of Ульfrika Bloodaxe, former patriarch of Clan Bloodaxe. My mother was a Breton servant who worked in his meat hall. Mother died in childbirth, so I was brought up as a servant. Ульfrika never recognized me, considered me a mistake. I think his wife was behind it. Ульfrika was kind, but his wife, Hulda, that was a spiteful shrew. Made sure I slept in filth, fed me mere scraps, had the older lads rough me up. Bitch didn't realize she was making me strong. I learned quickly. Nords care much more about strength than legitimacy or bloodlines. Bastard or not, I set out to be better and braver than any Nord alive. I trained while they feasted, hunted while they slept. When my brothers were learning to ride horses, I was killing bears with a spear. All the while, my brothers treated me like an animal. At least Ульfrika was kind to me. I think he recognized his wild side in me, the uncompromising ferocity. He resented the sloth of his legitimate sons. Pardon, he got carried away. My father couldn't give me his name, but he did give me his favorite sword, in secret. Didn't trust it with the others. I was 16, ready to set out on my own. First thing I did was track down a hag raven and cut her head off. Even got a reward from the Jarl. I didn't care about the money though. The real reward was that the Jarl gave me a name. Witchslayer. I carry it with pride. My father died not long after that. His wife ensured I inherited nothing. I spent time working as a mercenary, traveling all over. I even had the misfortune of sailing with my cousin, Ульfrika Bloodaxe, for a time. I hope you never have to work with him for your sake. Yes, and if they hadn't, Ульfrika probably would have killed them. You think I'm joking? You don't know Ульfrika. And is a wild animal, but loyal. My two older brothers joined up, but they received low-risk duty in exchange for a considerable donation from the clan. I volunteered for every dangerous mission they offered. Distinguished myself in combat at every turn. That's why I'm here. That's why I consider myself a Nord. Aside from my family, no one has cared in the least about my ancestry. They see me fight, and I am accepted. That is better than I can say for the other half. Bretons spit on me, act as if I'm carrying a disease. So I am a Nord, and that is the end of it. Infantry, that's what I did. Fighting close up to a man, looking him in the eyes, sticking a sword through him. Coughs his blood up all over you, screams for his mama. Most of them were just scared kids, and we had to put them down now. A lot of men you fight with are full of hate. They have to be. It's how they hide their fear. I never hated the Imperials. It was me or them. In fact, I had more problems with fellow Stormcloaks when I insisted on treating the prisoners with respect. It takes a hard heart to fight in war, but I believe it's a greater display of courage if you extend some dignity and respect to your defeated enemies. Excluding the Thalmor, of course. They would just kill us, throw us into a pit. No, we'll have to kill them all. I admired what it stood for. Unity, acceptance of different peoples. Meritocracy, that's a word I learned. Fancy word, but I like it. No, I followed my family. I will stick with my commitment, no matter the end. If you knew what I know about the Thalmor, the stories, they have all the reason they need to invade. I don't know if we'll stop them. I will remain true to the Stormcloaks and to Skyrim, but yes, sometimes I worry I chose the wrong side. It's not so much about the whole Talos thing, it's more about what lets us survive. Because that's what the Thalmor want to take from us. Talos is just the beginning. Next they'll want to kill us all. And they have the ability to do it. Wonderful. If I had read one more letter from a concerned mother whose son had disappeared in that pit, I would have stabbed myself with a quill. In time, I'm sure they'll find some fresh distraction that will maim them, but in the meantime, I'll relish the break. Thank you.
Yes?